Views expressed by Casters Guild members are only the opinions of that member, and that could change from day to day. Guild members may use mature language, but that in no way means they are mature. Listener discretion is advised.
It doesn't matter if he's fighting giant gorillas or dragon turtles, whether he's playing golf or tennis, either racing karts or throwing a great party. We've been in love with this plumber since we first saw him jump on the screen. In the words of Charles Martinet, here we go! And that's the spell we're casting tonight on Casters Guild. Thanks for tuning in to tonight's episode of Casters Guild. I'm Rick Jumpman Perry.
I should really start thinking of these, Baron Kane.
And joining us tonight for the first time is a new guild member. Feel free to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm TJ Kirshner. I hail from Baltimore, Maryland. And I'm happy to be here. I love Mario, and I'm ready to talk all about him.
All right, so Mario's been around for 30 years now. Nintendo's celebrating its 30th anniversary with a lot of really cool stuff. So let's start off tonight with the question we usually start off with. What's your favorite Mario game?
Boy, that's a tough one. If I'm going with classics, I probably would go with Mario 3, simply because that's the game that I play with all my friends. That's the game I grew up with. That's the game where a lot of my childhood memories are with. Newer ones, I'd probably say Odyssey. I really, really like the mechanics of the game. I really like the levels. It just brings everything together in such a wonderful picture. I love it so much. How about you, Baron?
Really good choices. Well, all time, and I know it's not necessarily his game, but Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
All right.
I started out. Donkey Kong was the first game I ever played, and it was on the arcade in a laundromat. And
cool.
And my aunt was there, and she was like holding me up so I could play it. I remember it. It was beautiful. And
that's a snapshot,
right? So even as a first memory, great. But even as a game that has, to me, held up the test of time, I think it still stands as my favorite game.
Absolutely. All right, I'm gonna say classic Mario. I gotta stand behind 3 with TJ. I mean, I still to this day carry a Tanuki Mario keychain with me every day. It's on my keys.
You can't see that.
And as far as the newer games, I want to say Sunshine. Right? I have good memories of Sunshine, but if I ever try to go back and play Sunshine, I realize how terribly that game controls.
Yeah. I'm reliving that beautiful dream yet nightmare at the same time.
Yeah.
With the
So
new release of the 3D games.
Yeah, and that makes me want to say something more like Galaxy or Odyssey, because Galaxy's controls are so tight. Especially to be on a same collection as Sunshine, you can really see the difference between the two games. But yeah, Sunshine, man, I think I'm still gonna say Sunshine, because even though it controls so bad, I know I'm contradicting myself here, but I think I'm still gonna say Sunshine, because even though it controls so bad, just like the full departure from the regular Mario formula, adding all the extra things in, the aesthetic it makes me so happy. You can't not be happy running around Isle Delfino and just
sunshine and
the
summer.
Music and the people, and it's just fun.
That's awesome.
So a little epiphany I just had as you were talking. Now I haven't played in a lot of the later games because money, but I'm pretty sure that the Mario series in general is the only series that I have consistently completed.
Okay.
Now that I think about it, because I've completed the first Mario, second Mario, third Mario, Super Mario World. It's I've never took a game to completion more than I have with Mario.
So define completion.
This is an important distinction.
Well, like taking it and beat the end boss.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, because there's a big difference between finishing a game, which is completing the end boss. Rolling the credits is finishing the game, right?
Yeah.
So like Super Mario World was one of the first games that had this great big distinction, because you could roll the credits and not play half that game.
Right.
So
another really good one. No, I'm gonna stand by my picks though.
Yeah. Super Mario World is great though. It's really, really great.
It is funny too, because 3 and World were both game changers.
Yeah, they really were. And 64. I know a lot of people don't like the 64, but I mean, what it brought to the table there are some haters out there that like 64. Oh, it's such a terrible system. I'm like, shut the front door.
Oh, wait, no. I'm sorry. That's a guilt decree. Guilt decree is the Nintendo 64 is the best game system pound per pound ever made.
Oh, well, no arguments on my part. I love my 64. I am a big fan of Mario 64, Legend of Zelda, Star Fox 64. A lot of like smash hits were on that console. So yeah.
Even before the guild decree, I would argue anybody that game was anything less than brilliant.
It was your guild decree, so I would imagine.
Well picked. That
was from our video games episode. Like that was his guild decree, was that the N64 is the best video game system pound for pound.
Nice. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It released a lot of genre-changing games. I'm just saying.
It really did. GoldenEye revolutionized the first-person shooter genre, and Mario 64 showed. I know that there were other 3D games up to that point, but Mario 64 is really what kind of brought it into the full.
It birthed the 3D platformer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which, like, for that entire era after that, like, the 3D platformer was king for a while. You know what I mean? Like, after Mario 64, you had games like Banjo-Kazooie, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon. Like, all these games were because of Mario 64.
Oh, yeah. A lot of those other people were trying to cash in on that, like, PlayStation and, eventually Xbox. They would have never had the games that they had if it wasn't for Mario 64.
A lot of the concepts from Mario 64 also kind of like the cameras and third-person view. A lot of the 3D games that we enjoy today would not be what it is without Mario 64.
Nintendo and the Mario series in general is nothing if not revolutionary.
They saved the video game industry in the United States. No one would argue that.
Absolutely.
All right, well, let me turn the question around then, if I may. Since we're talked about the best game, what is the worst Mario game you've ever played?
Oh, man.
Ooh.
Which is real hard because there's a lot of really good ones out there.
Can I say Sunshine again?
Sure.
It's my favorite, but the controls are really bad.
Oh, yeah, they're terrible.
It's just like you never do what you want to do. Like
yeah. Like they had a bunch of really like brilliant epiphanies. Like, hey, let's have like if he like turns the controller in the opposite direction and pushes the B button, he does this really cool backflip. And like, and that's like the only flip that you can like have like a minute amount of control over. Like you'll use that backflip for almost everything.
Yes.
I think that they didn't have a long jump, did they, in that game?
They did, but it was very difficult to pull off because the whole thing is like, so when they added in Flood, like if you wanted to slide, the ground usually had to be wet. And in order to do the long jump, you had to slide. So if the ground was dry, you could slide for like a fraction of a second. Like you could run and then slide for a fraction of a second. If you press the jump button at the same time, you would pull off a long jump.
There's tons of times where I was playing certain levels and I was like, God, I want a long jump so bad right now.
It wasn't easy to pull off, but like now there are people who like play Sunshine all the time who are yelling and screaming at me right now because there are people who say that Mario never controlled tighter than when he was in Sunshine. Like he had a lot of vertical movement, lateral movement, but the thing is you had to get pixel perfect on pulling off the moves. And there are people who've been playing it so long, it's second nature to them now to pull off those pixel perfect moves. But for a more dare I say casual gamer like myself, I mean, like it's just too much.
Yeah, I feel like every Mario game, I mean, the 64 definitely brought a lot of controls that we had never experienced before in Mario, with doing different kinds of backflips and acrobatics that you had no idea an Italian plumber was capable of. But there you go. And then they kind of built on that, yes, with Sunshine, a variety of really nice controls over there too. Still sucked in my personal opinion, control-wise. But then I think in Galaxy they tightened the controls more, because when I first got the 3D game title, I played Sunshine right away, because I was like, oh, I really want to be able to feel summertime, even though I can't be enjoying all of the summertime stuff because of the crisis. So yeah, and then I played Galaxy, and I was like, okay, this feels a little bit better. I feel like I have a little more control. But I do feel like an Odyssey specifically, I feel like they just took all of the stuff they learned and just perfected it.
Absolutely.
Because Odyssey just controls so wonderfully.
And if we're going to talk about worst Mario games, I do have to bring up the educational titles.
No, that's fair.
So what is it? There's Mario is Missing, and then there's the time travel one, and I forget what that one's called.
Yeah, I remember those as well. I was going to say Mario is Missing as well, because that was probably, for me, that could be the worst game, at least the worst I could think of off the top of my head, because that was a complete departure. I mean, they've succeeded in complete departures before of the platforming genre. I mean, Mario 64 and Paper Mario were amazing RPG games, which is like, how in the world could you go from platforming to RPG and have a hit like that? Yeah, I wouldn't say that the Mario is Missing is one of their best games. Not even by a long shot.
And then later on there was the time travel one after Mario is Missing, and I forget. Yeah. I wish I could remember what it was called, but like
it was a SNES
Mario
game.
is Missing. Mario is Missing was about teaching you geography, and like the time travel one was about teaching you history.
Yeah,
but like just the general mechanics of the game just did not work well.
And you never knew what you had to do sometimes. Like, it was a bit poorly designed. You were like wandering around the map, like, where in the world do I need to find Da Vinci? Where do I need to get these particular items? And I don't. How old was I when that game came out? I must have been in like elementary school, middle school. In my little kid mind, I was like just floundering around trying to figure out what to do. Ended up restarting the level a couple of times and just kind of stumbled across my way through the game, because I'm a Mario player, goddammit, and I'm going to make sure to finish that game.
Oh.
How about you, Baron? What is your worst Mario game?
Oh, you don't want to know.
No?
It's the first one. Mario Super Mario Brothers. I know. But I also want you to know that I haven't had the experience that you guys have. So out of the experience that I have had with the games that I have had, I have to choose that one.
Yeah, that's fair. I can understand that. Like, I know there's sometimes exact classics are escaping me, but there's
actually, I think you already know at least one. You can't even call that one the first one, Super Mario Brothers.
Well, that's why I had to correct myself.
Because there was 2 games before Super Mario Brothers.
Yep.
And there's Donkey Kong, and then there's Mario Brothers.
Yeah, but we all knew what he was talking about.
Yeah,
I even did. That's why I corrected myself. I said Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah. I get that. It can be hard, man. Don't put this guy in front of Lost Levels then, because he would have a real bad time.
Oh man, Lost Levels.
Like, I even like the second one. Like, I love the second one.
Oh yeah, the second one's great. Second one's not that hard to pick up either. You don't have to be like a really hardcore gamer to be able to play and enjoy the second one. But the first one, I don't know about hardcore, but I mean, if you want to beat the game, you're gonna have to have a decent amount of skill, especially when you get to those last levels.
Yeah, and for the Lost Levels, which was the original Super Mario Brothers 2, you really do have to. Hardcore. You really do have to have skill. I mean, like, that kind of picks up, the difficulty level of that picks up where Super Mario Brothers 1 ends, and just kind of ramps up from there.
Wow.
Those Japanese people, man, they're hardcore.
A piece of Mario trivia that more or less everybody knows, but just in case if you're listening and you don't, Super Mario Brothers 2 was actually a completely different game in Japan. Nintendo of Japan decided that the game was a little too difficult for American audiences, so they reskinned another game called Doki Doki Panic, and they just put Mario characters in it, and that's the game we got as Super Mario Brothers 2. And then later on, when Super Mario All-Stars was released on the SNES, they had a little thing called the Lost Levels, and that was the actual Super Mario Brothers 2, the original Super Mario Brothers 2.
Yeah, they figured the kids had grown up enough by then that they could probably handle it, so they re-released it on for the SNES. I did play that. I don't know if I could consider it beaten per se, because the numbers, like after you finish like World 8 and World 9, it starts to go into the letters. And I'm like, where am I in this game now? Or how far have I gotten? How much farther do I have to go?
Right.
It just gets crazy.
So
good.
When it comes to Mario, like we obviously we're talking a whole lot about its platforming days, but I'm sure we've all played a lot of stuff outside of the platformers. You've got Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars. You've got the Paper Mario series. You've got the Mario and Luigi games. Of course, you've got all of the different party-style games, Mario Kart, Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, Mario Baseball, Mario... Super Smash Brothers, I think, could even technically count, and especially the first one. I mean, like a lot of characters from that first one were Mario characters. So what's your favorite outside of the platforming genre? What's your go-to there?
That's real hard. Because there's a lot that are like, I love so much. Like I said earlier, the RPG series. Maybe the RPG series, because I love RPG games.
I really wanted to play that.
Which one?
Mario RPG, yeah.
Legend of the Seven Stars.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get my sequel one day. One day. Ryan Seguin, him and I would play that a good bit when we were growing up. I think I gave him my copy at one point in time. I'm not sure what happened after it. That he could probably tell you. But yeah, that was Mario's first foray into the RPG realm. And,
if you can get your hands on one, it's now on the SNES Mini, so it's included.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So if you can get your hands on an SNES Mini, that's one of the games that's included. Is cool. Super Mario RPG: Legend of the Seven Stars.
Isn't like the original cartridge like really expensive now? I feel like it's a collector's item, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, cool. I do really like the Paper Mario. Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door definitely is my favorite of the RPG series. So well written, so funny. I love that. I still play the Paper Marios to this day. I've played his most recent foray, which for some stupid reason is escaping me. It's not Color Splash. It's one for the Switch. Origami King. There we go.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah. That was actually really fun too. Also very well written. I still miss having the multiple partners that I can switch behind and do like a little bit of strategy too. But still really like the mechanics, and I like the experimentation they've been doing with that. Yeah, again, huge fan of Mario Kart, but that's a game I would play with my mom actually quite a bit.
That's what I've got to say is Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I mean, like I still play Mario Kart every day because I got a Mario Kart circuit on my phone, and I still play it every day. And I'm not the kind of person who normally gets into mobile games, but that's one that stays on my phone and never leaves because I play it every day. I recently got the Mario Kart Live home circuit. My dog hates it, but I love it.
The AR game?
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
cool.
Yeah, you get a nice little remote control car with the camera on it. Drive it around your living room. It adds all the tracks and the other racers and items and stuff like that. It's a ton of fun.
How well does it play? I mean, the demos look amazing, but demos are generally very misleading. So does it play really well? Does it seem like just as interactive as the demo is?
Yeah, I mean, it's not seamless. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't have things set up right, you know what I mean? There's some wonkiness to it. Okay. But once you realize what your boundaries are, what the capabilities of the game are, then yeah, you can play it without any kind of hiccups or anything like that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I live in a townhouse, so I don't know. I mean, I have a hardwood floor, but it's kind of like a whole bunch of rectangles. So I don't know how much I could actually play something like that. Yeah, but I've definitely been thinking about it because it looked like an amazing game. I've played some AR games before. Some of them do AR well. Some of them are just kind of unusual and why. But yeah, I'll have to try it one time.
I used to tell people when I worked at a video game store that Mario Kart was the great uniter. Yeah. That no matter who you were or what your gaming level was, you can play Mario Kart and you can have a ton of fun, because there's a lot of mechanics in that game that keep it that way. I mean, like rubber banding and like giving people in the back better items than the people in the front. And, it kind of keeps everything fun. And then I tell everybody, while Mario Kart is your great uniter, Mario Party is the great divider. Nothing will make you hate your friends faster than a game of Mario Party. So,
nice. which would probably be my favorite, like
Mario Party.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I love Mario Party. Yeah, like I've bought pretty much every entry into the Mario Party. I mean, like, just like most people, I wasn't a great big fan of 9 and the ones that like force you into a car. But I do like the one on Switch. It's not as good as maybe like, let's say like 2 or 6, but like, I still like it a lot, and like, it's fun.
It's interesting because Mario Party I played a lot of Mario Party with my kids when they were growing up. It was simple enough that they were able to play it. I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old back then. Like subtract them each by a year or so, but it was engaging enough, interesting enough that they were able to, and simple enough that they were able to play it as well. And they played it on the Wii U some when they were first starting off with Mario Party, and then we got it for the Switch because I knew how much they loved Mario Party. So it's definitely a game that the whole family can play, Megan and my mom and dad too. So everybody really enjoys it. I do want to share one quick minor story with Mario Kart. Earlier last year, so my family and I, we go to various anime and comic book conventions as a family, and we went to Wizard World in Philadelphia. I think that was the one we did this at, and they were having a Mario Kart tournament, and I actually entered in myself and my daughter Rose, my oldest, who was 7 at the time. And I was like, so we're just going to have fun. We're not trying to compete. We're not trying to win and beat everybody. We're just going to have a lot of fun. And I was like, just thought it would be a lot of fun to be able to say, hey, I entered a video game tournament with my daughter. So yeah, I got my butt kicked promptly, as I expected I would, because I'm not a pro. And then it was her turn, and she picked Rainbow Road because why not? So when it was her turn to get going, it's, how easy it is to fall off of Rainbow Road. And we were all playing on the Switch version too, by the way. She jumped the course, and she actually landed back on the course twice. And I'm like losing my mind in the background. I'm like, what are you doing? Oh my gosh, she made it. And then I was like, keep going, girl. Okay. Wait, what are you? Oh no, she's doing it. Oh, how is she doing this? She's the dark horse of this tournament.
Proud gamer moment.
Very proud gamer moment. I mean, she didn't beat the guy, but she gave him a run for his money, and I was so proud.
See, if you need to start practicing, because at the Middle Tennessee Anime Convention every year, they have a couples double dash tournament. So you have to enter as a pair. So, you could enter together and play double dash.
Yeah, so absolutely. She's never played double dash. I'd have to get it. Yeah. That's awesome. How about you, Baron? What's your favorite non-platformer of Mario's?
It's Mario Party.
Oh, that's right. You answered. I'm sorry.
No, you're cool. No, you're cool. I kind of slipped it in there. Everybody was talking, and I was like, and this. We all acknowledged it, and we were cool, and it was like.
Yep. All right. Well, let me dig a little deeper then. Which Mario Party would you say is your favorite?
Oh, 64.
Okay.
64. Yeah, I mean, again, it's all my favorite stuff is on that.
Okay.
I think that would be 2. There might have been more than one on the 64.
There's at least 2 entries. Maybe 3.
Yeah.
Ooh, really? 3 on the 64?
I doubt it. I'm honestly not 100% sure. They did release quite a few Mario parties in the 64 age and the GameCube age as well. Yeah, I mean, we're up to 10,
there was one on GameCube. Yeah.
1,
GameCube.
2, and 3 were all on the Nintendo 64.
There we go.
Amazing. I didn't know that they had released that many on there. I know I played 2. I don't know if I played the third one.
2 is one that everybody loves.
That's the Millennium Star one, wasn't it?
I don't know if it was the Millennium Star. It was the one where they changed costumes for every board.
Yeah. That might have been that one.
It was okay.
Yeah.
I think I may like the first one the best. And I think that's just nostalgia and it
Sure.
like, you know, but ooh, this is brand new. And obviously, you know, I had a love for board games too. So
2 was also the one that almost got Nintendo in trouble because people were injuring themselves playing Mario Party 2.
Oh yeah, because they were like they were moving their hands on the joystick. Oh yeah, I had.
So because you're confused, I'll go into it. I can see your face there, Baron. There were many games in Mario Party 2 that required you to rotate the joystick as fast as you can. A lot of people realized that it was much faster to remove your thumb from the joystick, put your palm on it, and go like this as quickly as you can. So people would actually get like raw circles in the middle of their palm from playing Mario Party 2.
I will say this, I probably would have had to have played it a lot more to have experienced that.
So what Nintendo did is they would, if you made a complaint and sent them mail about it, they would send you back a glove.
Yeah, I thought it was a glove.
Yeah. And that's how they avoided, you know, any kind of lawsuits or anything like that. That, and, you know, the standard rigmarole of a company that, like, you know, if you purchase this product, you know, you agreed that your safety is your own liability and like stuff like that. So, but yeah, they just gave people gloves and they were like, here you go, like play Mario Party with a glove from now on, and then you won't get hurt.
I will say this.
Go ahead. I was going to say, does it have any like branding on the particular glove? I wonder if those things.
I think it looked like Mario's glove. Like I think like it had like the M on it or something like that. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure it did.
What were you going to say, Baron?
I will say that it's probably a good thing I didn't play it very much, because if that was doing that to their hand, I can only imagine I probably could have very easily worn away the top of my fingernail. Because, like, you know, the parts where you have to press the button a bunch, I figured out that if you just put the top of your fingernail over top of it and rub back and forth really fast, that's just like hitting the A button just as really fast. So if I'd have played it as much as these people were wearing holes in their hands, I probably would have lost a fingernail.
You should have seen my N64 controllers before I stopped playing the system. I mean, there was like grooves and etches on what the because it's like a hex that the joystick rests on, so it'll like click around as you move the controller. So there's like grooves where the hex edges all meet. I think I had like 2 controllers. It's amazing that it didn't go through and break in either of them.
There were some people who got their controllers who would like do water damage, quote unquote, to their controllers from bleeding on them. When they would get that, so
I was never that bad. I mean, I had calluses, definitely. If I'd known about the glove thing, I probably would have asked for one, just because I could have one.
I don't get how people. I was like, it has to hurt.
Oh yeah, but if you want to win that bad, that Toad is not going to reach the finish line by himself. All right, I must will him. Wow. I actually, I'll unpopular opinion, I actually did like Mario Party 9. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I wouldn't say that I think it's the best game ever or anything. I mean, it definitely was kind of boring after a while. But, I mean, they did some interesting things. The Kart mechanic, which put all 4 people together, was interesting. Having Bowser chase you was an interesting mechanic, especially when you put it in the hands of your sarcastic wife that loves to antagonize everyone. Not that I'm speaking from experience, of course.
No, of course not.
But it was fun. But I'm definitely glad that they went back to the normal way of doing it, and went back to the normal boards, because that was certainly a lot more fun. But good on them for experimenting. That's definitely something Nintendo was great at. They're not afraid to mix things up and try something new, and sometimes they come up with something really great.
Absolutely.
The only thing I really liked about Mario Party 9 and 10 is it's no secret that I am a fan of the Game Grumps. And the first time I ever went to see Game Grumps live was with TJ, and they played Mario Party 9.
Yep.
And we had half of the audience cheering Donkey Kong just because TJ is loud enough to start that kind of riot.
I don't know what you're talking about. I am quiet as a mouse.
And then
there's no way that you won a Halloween contest by inviting me to come and cheer you on.
And then the second time I saw them live, we played Mario Party 10, and I actually got to go on stage and play Mario Party 10 with them. So, like, of course, that'll always be a nice little special memory for me. But as far as playing it at home, I think I'll stick to the other Mario parties other than 9 and 10.
Yeah.
I like having a little bit more independence rather than being stuck in a car with all of the other players.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of other things that he's been in that's maybe not as well known. I actually have not played Mario Tennis. I have not played any of the Mario Tennises, though the most recent one I've heard is pretty good. But just, I don't like tennis, so I probably
Mario Power Tennis for the Switch is difficult.
Yeah?
Like, I don't think it's an entry point into the series.
Really?
Like, I feel like you have to have played some of the older ones and gotten decent at Mario Tennis before you jump into the Switch entry. Like, it is not an entry point for the series, in my opinion, which is strange for me to say because you usually can't say that about Nintendo games in general. Like, normally Nintendo makes it so every game is an entry point into that series. Like, you can pick up any game, and it's pretty new player friendly. But no, they went hardcore for Mario Power Tennis, and they were like, tennis is for the hardcore fans. So,
I got a genre that we might be straining our brains trying to think about, but puzzle. There's Yoshi's Cookie, which I think has Mario in it.
Dr. Mario.
Dr. Mario, yeah. Oh.
Another one you can still play every day if you want to, because it's one of those that got added to the phone games.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. I'm trying to think what else.
Well, he was a referee in Punch-Out.
That is true. I mean, yeah, if we're counting like games,
cameos,
like made a cameo appearance and saying, "Oh, that's a Mario game," then most of the NES games that were released, a lot of them are Mario games. But yeah, Dr. Mario. I actually didn't play a lot of Dr. Mario growing up. I'll be honest.
For a while. We were playing a lot over at my stoner friend's house.
Yeah.
A lot. But yeah, oh man. It was great.
Drugs while doing drugs. Sounds like a great combination.
That's right.
Medicate me, Dr. Mario. Well, as long as we're talking about Mario, we can talk about his brother too, and say that
at least we were counting these.
Luigi's Mansion is an excellent game, and like once again, especially with Luigi's Mansion, to be honest with you, Luigi's Mansion 2 wasn't as good as Luigi's Mansion 1. Still a great game, I think, but not as good as Luigi's Mansion 1. And Luigi's Mansion 3, I think they hit it out of the park. Like I love Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah, I really did like Lunar Moon. I really did enjoy it. Yes, I don't know. Better than the first. I mean, they definitely did some improvements that I really enjoyed. It felt like a longer game in general, but I felt like the first one was more cohesive in general. It had a better dialogue to it.
I felt it had more personality too. Like, all of the main ghosts really had a story behind them. And like in Luigi's Mansion 2, it was just like, oh, it's another blue blob.
Yeah, I'll give it. It was kind of, Luigi's coming of age game too. Like before, all the games up until then, he really didn't have a strong personality. Where in GameCube, like they let him be the front runner game of the release of the GameCube, and yeah, they just gave him so much personality of being afraid of ghosts and being skittish, and it just was such an enjoyable game. As a result, you couldn't help but just fall in love for Luigi. And yeah, I agree too. Yeah, go ahead, Al.
Let's not forget about the movie. I know we all want to forget about the movie.
Oh gosh, no.
But let's not forget about the movie.
What movie?
Have you never seen the live action movie, Baron?
No. Okay. So I guess I've heard people talk about it, but I've also heard people talk about like an Avatar: The Last Airbender movie too. But I've never read. I don't
know what you're talking about.
I think people are just making shit up at this point.
Yeah, it's fake news.
Let me guess. They did something stupid, like got some British guy and Puerto Rican guy to play two Italian guys. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Well, there is something we found out from the movie that was confirmed by Shigeru Miyamoto, which is one of my favorite little facts about Mario, and that's Mario's last name.
Yeah.
Mario, yeah.
It's Mario and Luigi Mario.
Well, no, I don't know if you could say that the movie confirmed that, because if you go to the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, he also referred, I believe, to himself as Mario and Luigi
Did
Mario.
Super Show come out after that, though?
That I can't tell you.
Which, by the way, if we're talking about live action renditions, that was perfect.
I love
Lou Albano.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, I can still, to this day, I can still do the Mario. Okay?
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, we get copyright struck if I sung the whole thing.
Yes.
Since we're not sponsored.
Swing your arms from side.
Come on. That and the Legend of Zelda. That one wasn't a live action one, but it was still animated, and it was still.
Was it a cartoon on the Super Show though?
Yeah. They had like segues where they would be like, and now watch this cartoon from the Legend of Zelda, and it would just.
That's where excuse me, princess.
Yep. I think I have them on DVD.
Super Mario Brothers Super Show was the best.
Mm-hmm.
The best. Introduced me to a character that had a shit ton of potential, but was relegated to like the early 90s, late 80s animation, and that was Captain N. That was
Captain N.
Great.
I remember telling my wife about Captain N and her thinking I was going crazy, and then spending weeks trying to hunt down like a Captain N DVD like somewhere, and like I finally found it, and like she was like, okay, I guess you're not crazy, but
you're not a true Nintendo fan if you don't. You're not a true Nintendo fan if you haven't taken like an NES controller and a belt and tried to put them together and put it on your belt and then press start to pause everything around you and with your Duck Hunt zapper. Yeah, thank you.
The light gun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget the Super Scope.
Oh man, Power Glove. Oh,
it's so bad.
Well, there you go. We're doing. I brought up the terrible live action Super Mario Brothers movie, but there is the Wizard, which was essentially just a giant commercial for Super Mario Brothers 3. That is the entire point of that movie, was just to advertise Super Mario Brothers 3.
Nice.
It's true facts, but I don't care. I loved every moment of it.
And the Power Glove was. I don't think the Power Glove had come out yet when that movie came out. And
that I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I know Super Mario Brothers 3 hadn't come out yet. Like they hadn't even really announced the game yet until the release of that movie, because like that was like the big twist. It's like a new game.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Hey, I was on board.
Mm-hmm. That movie was savage.
I'm trying to remember though. What kind of games did you? Wait, what?
He said Fred Savage.
Nice. I was trying to remember. There was like only like a handful of games for the Power Glove that you could play. That you could play. It was like a racing game. I want to say was one of them. Two of them. Okay.
Two. Rad Racer.
Yep.
Which was the one they show you in the movie, in The Wizard. And there was another one. I don't remember what it was called, but it was basically like wall ball. You know what I mean? Basically, there was a hand on the screen, and there was a ball, and you could grab the ball and throw the ball back, and like this whole thing. Technically, you could control any game with the Power Glove.
Yeah.
Because you could use the controller that was on the sleeve for one, and two, you could set certain motions to do certain buttons. Like I think there's actually like a famous speed run of Punch Out where somebody used the Power Glove.
Yeah, that's cool.
Punch Out, because they made this motion actually activate the jab.
That's great.
And of course,
I gotta find that YouTube video.
it doesn't work when you want it to. So like that's even more impressive that like they were able to beat Punch Out with the Power Glove.
Wow, that must be interesting. Speed running Punch Out.
I mean, like they say it's a speed run, but like,
okay,
like he didn't break any records or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Technically, he did, because he's the only person who has a time set for
the Power Glove playing that
Power
game.
Glove run. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? He could have taken 3 days to beat it, and he'd still have the record. So,
well, hey, I mean, people have made speed runs out of Stranger Games before. I just watched Jaden Animations, and she did a speed run of Cooking Mama. I was like, well, okay then. I've seen everything.
Have you guys tried to play Mario with the Power Glove before?
No, I didn't own a Power Glove.
I've never actually touched a Power. No, I did. I played with the Power Glove one time when I was very, very young. And it was that wall ball game I was telling you about, and it didn't work. I played it for all of like 30 seconds, and I was like, screw this. And I went outside and I rode bikes with my friends. But other than that, like, I just didn't know what I had at the time. Like, if I was over at a friend's house, and I didn't know what he had, I should say, or what I had the chance to play as far as gaming history goes. But ever since then, once I realized what it was, and like I've seen it in game stores before, like secondhand game stores, but I've never actually like purchased one or really messed around with it.
Yeah, it wasn't really a great peripheral.
I got to play it over at a friend's house, like using it on Mario, and oh man.
Yeah, it's not a great peripheral. There's not really a lot you can do with it, and its controls are kind of wonky. I think before the Wizard came out, it wasn't really well known very much at all, and then every Wizard just popularized it. Like, oh, it's so bad, everyone must have this now because I'm a 90s kid and I need attitude, and that's what the Power Glove is. Wow.
Ouch.
What?
You just felt what you said so hard.
Ouch.
Did I describe your childhood to a T?
Oh man. Well, especially considering, you know, at the stage of my development in the 90s, it was all about attitude. All about attitude.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the whole marketing bit of the 90s is attitude, and adults are drool and kids rule and don't do drugs and dare and all that stuff. Oh yeah, we were propaganda wagons all over the place. Marketing. Oh yeah.
As long as we're going to talk about small cameos that Mario made, I would say my favorite cameo that Mario made was in NBA Street Volume 3.
Get the fuck out of here. What?
Yeah. Oh, did you not know about this particular cameo there, Baron?
I did not.
So in NBA Street Volume 3, on the Gamecube and only on the Gamecube, you could play as Mario, Luigi, and Peach as a 3-person team.
Oh,
that sounds amazing.
You could do special team dunks with them. Like they would do their own special moves and stuff like that. And you could even build your own court with pieces from the Mushroom Kingdom. Like you could just put pipes up. And yeah, it was awesome.
I kind of regret having stopped playing that game after the first one now.
NBA Street Volume 3.
I love the first one, but I just never continued on after that.
It almost sounds like something at a Mario Party. Like they played soccer in the middle of the most recent Mario game.
Nice.
All right, this is only going to be for the people who are on this chat with me because we're not posting the video. But here's NBA Street Volume 3 for the Nintendo GameCube, featuring the Nintendo All-Stars.
Dang.
Wow.
And you can
Mario's
see him. Who's he crossing up here? That's probably Allen Iverson or something like that. There's Mario putting the moves on him.
Oh man!
Just like there he goes, over. Yes, he is. That's one of the greatest parts about it. Like he only comes up to like their waist. It's great.
It's like awesome. Yoda. Like all of the Jedi are like twice the size of Yoda, and like Yoda's like the master and can do like backflips and all sorts of things. It's like Mario's that kind of rendition of baseball or basketball.
Yoda is the Mario of the Jedi Council.
And Mario is the Yoda of the basketball court.
There we go.
Guild decree, Mario is the Yoda of the basketball court.
Hey, no argument there. This is actually a topic I don't know too much about. Like Mario cameos. What else has he been in?
Oh, he shows up whenever he feels like it.
Yeah, I know he showed up a lot in the earlier games, but like more recent ones.
Now Mario himself didn't show up, but in Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, A Link Between Worlds, Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening had several Mario enemies.
Well, yeah, there was the Chomp, and they had
the Goomba.
Yeah.
Whatever you call that spiky thing. It had a bunch of Mario and not the Thwomp. Actually, now that I think about it, that was actually a Kirby enemy. The little DDD throws him out.
Oh, the spiky spine. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But anyway, they had a bunch of, and it was because they were reusing assets from Mario 2 when they originally made that game. It had Goombas in it and everything. And there was actually even a little crane game where you could get a little Yoshi doll.
Yep.
So they kind of throw in Mario wherever they want.
I did play the recent rendition of Link's Awakening for the Switch, loving every minute of it. And I definitely saw a lot of those references too.
And they made it even more clear in the remake. They were just like they threw in the cheeps and the blooper and
Did they have piranha plants back in the first one? I think they did in the Switch rendition.
I think so. I think they had piranha plants in there.
Okay.
But I mean, like that's all justified because like that whole thing was in Link's head. Like that was all a dream. So that whole
totally.
Yeah.
Well, he's got to have seen something in reality in order to make it a dream, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Which is how they justified Mario 2 as well. They said that was all a dream that Mario had.
But they brought the Shy Guy. Well, yeah, that's true. I guess then if he had encountered a Shy Guy in his normal games, then that explains why the Shy Guys were in his dreams. Because there's still plenty of enemies they've saved since Mario 2.
Oh, yeah. They stole a bunch of stuff from Doki Doki Panic after they reskinned it for Mario.
Mm-hmm.
We still haven't seen anything from King Wart or Mouser. But,
no. I would like to see more of them. But he was, if I remember the backstory correctly, they said he was Koopa's brother or something. Or that, again, this is a dream, so it doesn't necessarily mean that is true. But I remember correctly in the instruction booklet, it said that he was supposed to be Koopa's brother.
Which is interesting because Super Mario Bros. 2 was a dream, and then recently confirmed by Shigeru Miyamoto himself, Super Mario Bros. 3 was a stage play.
Right.
So, I mean, it had been a fan theory for a long time, but it is now confirmed that Super Mario Bros. 3 was a stage play. So it kind of brings in the entire Mario canon into question.
Yeah.
How much of this is actually going on there, Mario?
Mario is just Mario in his basement playing with origami.
Oh my god. Honestly, that being brought up, it's like, they've done one with the dream and one as stage play. They should just do one with Mario's just high in his basement, just
Mario and his hallucinogenic adventure.
Dr. Mario right there.
Bags and snacks.
Oh, that's Dr. Mario.
Oh, fuck, you're right. God damn it. Wow. Yeah. All right. Never mind. You got
it. Moving on.
Maybe that's an interesting question. If Mario has been in so much, what should he go in next?
Oh,
that's a good one.
Oh,
like if we could pick another genre that is like completely off the wall, what
Disney
would be
movies.
Interesting?
Fuck.
He's been there. Thank you, Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
Favorite Disney movie of all time.
That props to Wreck-It Ralph. I love Wreck-It Ralph.
So what game? We'll stick to game.
I was about to say rhythm game, but he's done that already.
Yeah, he did a DDR rendition.
Dance Dance Revolution Mario mix.
Yeah.
The first time that Waluigi really got a spotlight because he was the villain in that one.
You know what? I want to see a true RPG. Like fucking throw him in like a Skyrim style RPG fantasy. Give him a sword. Give him magic.
Oh, it's the next Kingdom Hearts world, guys.
I mean,
why not?
7 stars is almost there. 7 stars. I mean, like it is a fantasy world. I mean, like he doesn't use a sword of magic. He uses classic Mario stuff. But there are other people you can team up with. I know you said you haven't played it, but like 7 stars gets really close.
It does.
But like I always had an idea for a D&D campaign that I think would make perfect for that video game you were just talking about, where you the people who are playing D&D, like their player characters, play as toads, and you've been sent on a quest to summon the legendary hero. And at the end of the quest, you actually summon Mario to the kingdom, so Mario can go and defeat Bowser. But I always thought it'd be cool if like you had like you can use an alchemist class, and like the alchemist class, see you need a legendary hero because he can use the power-ups properly. But you got your player characters playing an alchemist, he can pick up fire flowers and ice flowers and power-up mushrooms and turn them into potions that can be used. And then of course you'd have your standard fighter class. We've all seen toads carrying a spear from time to time. There's your classic fighter class. You could have your rogue, and instead of the standard toad mushroom hat, they'd have the poison mushroom hat. You know what I mean? And that'd be the rogue. So I've thought about this a lot. If that's not...
I can tell.
I would play the crap out of that game if they ever released that as a video game. If they released that like as a party-style RPG, and you played as a group of toads trying to summon the legendary hero to the Mushroom Kingdom, I would play the crap out of that game.
Nice. You heard it here first, Nintendo. Send your royalty fees to Rick at Casters Guild.
Just send me a copy. Like I don't
there you go.
Royalties. You don't need to pay me for the idea. Just send me a copy. I'll even play it on stream so people can see it. Just
send you a copy. Send you a copy with the console that it happens to be on if you don't already have it.
Right.
Nice.
We don't need any monkey's paw wishes right now. We're going to cover all our bases.
At first, I was thinking like a dungeon builder game, but I was like, well, that's basically what Mario Maker is.
Mario Maker, yeah.
Yeah.
They really do everything with Mario.
They really do.
You said do. Or, hey, you know what? How about this? Since they've already... Well, shit. I'm sure you guys are going to throw one at me, but why not like a superhero game?
Okay. So
like they've already showed him with the cape and everything, and
it's true.
So just do like a whole game where he's doing like superhero stuff.
Could do like a Mario and Marvel kind of mashup. That might be kind of fun. Where
throw him in Ultimate Alliance.
Yes, that's exactly Mario cameo in Ultimate Alliance.
Yep, he's the DLC.
That's it. That'll be my recommendation right there. They haven't done it. Or just throw Mario, Peach, Toad, and Luigi all in there so you can get the team bonus if they're all on the same team.
It's difficult to say that he hasn't been in a superhero game though, because like if you just take a look at a game like Super Mario Galaxy or Super Mario Odyssey, like what makes a superhero game? Like he's obviously a super powered character. He's running around, he's saving the day, he's using powers that like nobody else has. You could say that Galaxy or Odyssey is a superhero game, really.
That's why I'm going to go ahead and stick with put him in Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah.
That has not been done.
Just have him use his current power set. He can throw fireballs. He can jump real high. He can stomp on things.
Yep.
You know, he can throw dudes real far.
Give Luigi his Luigi's Mansion shit.
Give him the poltergust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe instead of Toad, use Luigi, Yoshi, because he could have more diversity than say Toad could, unless you gave like Toad like magic powers or something like that.
I'm like imagining Toad as like a bard class. Can you imagine him singing?
I would do it, but I'd spike my levels and kill my voice, so I'm not gonna do it. I had to stop myself because I was gonna.
But that sounds like such a great D&D character. Like just have Toad the Bard.
You think I hadn't thought about it in my campaign? Like,
I bet you have.
There would be if one of the player characters didn't play Toad the Bard, they would definitely run into Toad the Bard.
I mean, really? Okay, now we're just gonna get into D&D, but I mean, there is a race of mushroom people.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
The Myconids.
Okay.
So, I mean, you could easily just make one of those Toad.
Yep.
It's true.
You'd be like, hi!
Never mind. He tells me my goblins. I don't like this.
It's like you, if he plays his instruments in order for you to get a saving throw, you would probably have to take like a -1 or a -2 to your to whatever you rolled.
Oh, geez, why is this worse?
Your ears are bleeding, but you're like, I still feel better.
All his inspirations are just negative inspirations.
This is like worse and better at the same time. What is going on?
Sing to them, Toad. Sing to them.
Oh, it's like imagining Toad in different kinds of classes, like imagining Toad as a tank.
I'm sorry, but this whole conversation about Mario and shit has just gave me a good idea for like an anti-bard class.
You're welcome.
Oh yeah, I've thought all this stuff out. You could make Toad a wizard, just give him Magic Koopa's wand, and like a Magic Koopa robe, and now he's a wizard. Oh yeah, I've thought about all this stuff.
And that's a cool thing too, because like if you did that Mario crossover with Ultimate Alliance, you could do like a whole board that's devoted to them doing whatever they need to do in the Mushroom Kingdom.
All of a sudden, you got Thor running around the Mushroom Kingdom.
Oh, gross.
That would be so funny. Mario's like, this is how you take down a Goomba. You jump up and then stomp on his head. And Thor's like, whatever. Mjolnir on his Toad, and it like explodes into lightning, and like 5 other Goombas in the vicinity.
Mamma mia!
or Thor, like a team move, Thor could use his Thunder Strike on Mario, and it's like the same thing as the Superstar.
That would be great. Imagine like the Hulk like running around the Mushroom Kingdom, like smashing different Koopas and tearing off pipes and using it to smash different Mario villains.
Fastball special with Mario.
Oh, that would be so great. I would pay for that DLC.
Oh yeah, I might even pay like full game price just for the DLC.
Speaking of games that are an interesting mashup that you would not expect to be like home runs, has anyone on this call played Mario Raving Rabbids?
I have Kingdom Battle.
Yeah.
Actually, I initially rented it for an Extra Life when it like first came out.
Oh yeah.
I played it for a good portion of my Extra Life that year, and I had a blast.
Yeah, it was surprisingly fun and a little on the difficult side too. There was quite a bit of strategy involved.
Brad, have you ever played any of the Shadowrun games or XCOM games? Like the ones that are more real-time strategy, like you move your character and then have him shoot somebody and...
You mean on the... I played the Shadowrun game on like Super Nintendo, which was like that.
I don't know if it was... I've played the one on PC, so I don't know if it's the same...
Oh, yes, then, yes. I've recently started playing, weirdly enough, the Shadowrun one on Steam.
Imagine that, except Mario.
Oh, okay.
And so, rabbits, because why not?
And rabbits from Rayman Raving Rabbids. Yeah, they gave them guns and everything. Like they got little guns that look like Koopa shells. And the different characters have like different classes. Like Mario, I think, has something pretty similar to a shotgun, and like Luigi has like sniper rifles and like. Yep. Yeah, it's great.
Yoshi, I think, is he has shotgun kind of like capabilities, doesn't he? And even Princess Peach gets into the game too, and you can use her as a playable character and that heals and shoots.
Mm-hmm. And one of them gets like remote controlled explosive detonators, and
that's Luigi. Yeah. My daughter got it for her birthday, and after watching her play for a couple of minutes, I was like, let me show you how it's done. Let me show you how to do this part. And I finished the game after that.
Definitely a very strategic game. Like you got to use a lot of strategy, especially if you want to get like the high scores and stuff on different levels.
Yeah, I don't think I did. I didn't completion it, but I did finish it, and it was a blast. Especially some of those bosses. Mm-hmm. Oh, they were so funny. The one poltergeist that sings opera, it was so funny to play. Definitely good times. I did just think of a genre that I don't. Well, he's been in this, but he really hasn't. First-person shooters. Like you would consider like. If you consider like the Super Scope, like on the back of Yoshi, that's technically a first-person shooter, but that's not really a strong entry in my opinion. But that might be something interesting for Nintendo to bring back.
Yeah, and now that they've opened up the Rabbids Kingdom Battle thing, they could easily do a sequel to it and have it be more of a first-person shooter than a strategic shooter.
Mm-hmm.
They've been known to switch genres with sequels that way.
Yeah, that actually sounds really cool. I would totally play that.
Heck yeah.
What else you got for us, Richard? Richard. You're not my father.
Mario, it's such an overwhelming topic. He's been so many places, and it's so difficult to try to nail something down.
Oh yeah, this whole thing has just opened up like so many like. I mean, the whole Dr. Mario thing, it's like, I forgot that existed.
Like, I'm sure there are parts of Mario's history we didn't even, like, touch on.
Absolutely.
And then there's, like, the stuff, all the fan theories and things like that. Like, the people who say that, like, the Mario, Jumpman Mario we see in Donkey Kong is actually Mario's dad.
Well, that one I don't know.
Yeah, so there's a great big theory that the Mario that we see, the Jumpman, because first of all, back then he was only known as Jumpman, and he was a carpenter, not a plumber.
Okay.
That's all confirmed. And then we start getting to the fan theory where he was Donkey Kong's enemy instead of, his friend. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people say that is Mario's father. And that's why his girlfriend is Pauline, while Mario's girlfriend is Peach. And then if you go over to the Donkey Kong side, the Donkey Kong that we know today that wears the tie is actually Donkey Kong Jr. And the Donkey Kong that Mario's father, Jumpman, went against was actually Cranky Kong.
Now, I have heard of that theory before, but I guess I never really put two and two together that, they would have to mean that Mario, his father, went up against Cranky Kong in the original Jumpman games. Mm-hmm. But that makes a lot of sense.
The Jumpman era. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've also watched plenty of game theory before from Matt Pat, and I'm familiar with various Mario lore. Like I think it was like Mario is psychotic, I think is what they were saying. It's been a long time since though I've watched those particular videos, but some of his earlier videos were really interesting and talked about Mario and just how much of a jerk he actually is.
Yeah, I've always subscribed to, or at least ranted about, because it was fun to rant about the Mario is the bad guy theory well before game theory, and like I started watching YouTube. Because if you think about it, in most of the games, Mario shows up. There's already 8 established castles. Like it's not like Bowser just showed up and like built 8 castles out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like no, Mario shows up. For being the good guy, he seems to kill just about anybody he comes across. Like there aren't a whole lot of good guys. And then he takes down 8 castles to finally take down Bowser and rescue Peach. Putting air quotes around rescue. And then to top it all off, if you read the instruction manual for the original Super Mario Brothers, it says that Bowser showed up and turned all the residents of the Mushroom Kingdom into clouds and bushes and bricks. And then Mario proceeds to spend the rest of the game destroying bricks. So, maybe not such a good guy.
And then in Mario 3, they invented the P block so you could transform the blocks into coins. So instead of killing them, he's now profiting from them.
That's horrifying.
There's a bit of creepypasta there.
And then if you do play Mario Tennis, if you beat it with Luigi, like if you beat the main game with Luigi, there's a spot where Mario walks up and hands him the trophy and then grinds his boot into Luigi's boot, like steps on Luigi's boot and grinds it in. It's just like because it's the thing
I'm still the bigger brother, putting him in his place. And then they show like pictures of Luigi like embarrassed and like confused, like he doesn't know what's going on. He's like, Mario. yeah I've heard of those before.
He's a bit of a jerk.
I was going to say, and just after that conversation, you have inspired me to go ahead and use my guild decree. I wasn't going to, because I was like, you know what? No, this is a Mario episode. I'm not going to do it. Guild decree: Luigi is a better brother.
Oh, wow.
Oh, please enter your comments in the box below. Send your hate mail to Baron at Master's Guild.
This is the point where I'd like to point out that Baron runs our Twitter account. So, like, if you want to, Twitter,
well, I mean, that's I don't know if I'd really argue against that. I mean, he's certainly more enjoyable personality compared to his brother. I mean, he has a personality compared to his brother.
Right, and I think that's mainly Luigi's Mansion's fault right there.
Oh, absolutely.
Because like all these games that Mario was in, and then it's like, okay, we're going to give Luigi his own game. Here's a whole personality to go with it. It's like, where the fuck was this for Mario?
And then in the Mario and Luigi series later, they really did develop that for Luigi. They didn't do a whole lot in developing Mario's character, but like they took that up as a jumping off point and kept developing that character in the Mario and Luigi games all the way up until he pretty much ran one of them. The what was the one after Bowser's Inside Story that was like
Mario and Luigi's Super
Dream Team, I think it was.
Yeah.
Dream Team was all about Luigi.
Right. Because he went into, was it Luigi going into Mario's stream or Mario going to Luigi's stream?
Mario would go into Luigi's stream.
Okay.
But then he could have like 30 Dream Luigis like with him, like just hanging out and like doing stuff. So
yeah, I honestly have not played the Mario and Luigi games for the 3DS.
Love them.
I'm sure.
Especially if you like the RPG stuff, because I know you're a fan of the RPG stuff. Like it is turn-based RPG all the way. It's got the time button pushes from like Thousand Year Door and stuff like that. Like it's about the closest you're gonna get to Paper Mario Thousand Year Door without actually being Paper Mario. because I think it's even closer to Thousand Year Door than the actual Paper Mario sequels.
Okay, that's really saying something. One of these days, I'll get my 3DS fixed and I'll actually play it along with the Metroid 2 remake that's still sitting on my shelf because of my dead 3DS. Just got to get it fixed. All right, I have a topic that we could delve into a little bit. Let's talk about the music of the different games. I feel like, yeah, especially like I'm going to open the floor to like remixes too, because I feel like
a whole game.
And a whole game? What like the
DDR?
Oh, okay. I can't speak to that one.
Geez. Mario Paint, I think. Was it Mario Paint where you could make the music?
Yeah, you could make Mario Paint, yes.
Yeah. Jeez. Oh, geez, we found another genre.
Well, that was kind of in my mind, but I couldn't remember if it was Mario Paint or if it was like its own like little musical thing. And I'm like, no, I'll kind of hold on to that for a second. And then you brought up music, and I was like, man, you are opening up some doors for me tonight.
Glad I could help you out.
Hey, man.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, I had a CD. For kids watching this, CDs basically were these small little discs that you put into these machines that would play music.
Sounds neat.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a CD of Mario 64 that would play all the time. And I think I made, like, back when you could make copies of your CD onto cassette. So I would make like 1 or 2 different copies, like mixtapes, using Mario CD and other music tracks that I had. And then I found like VG Mix online and OC Remix that took a lot of those classic songs and remixed them into these wonderful, beautiful orchestral or any kind of genre, really. It just opened up my mind to a field of music that I hadn't experienced up to that point. And now I love it so much. That there's a lot of extremely talented people out there in the internet.
Oh yeah, so I mean, like it brings up kind of a point I was talking about before when I talked about Nintendo and point of entry. You know what I mean? Like Mario music is an excellent point of entry into pretty much any music genre that you'd like. You start going down the rabbit hole of like, oh man, that music's super catchy and I can't get it out of my head. And then you start Googling different, renditions of it. And next thing you know, you're listening to like techno or EDM or a full band orchestra or swing or whatever, because everybody has redone, especially Super Mario Brothers World 1-1.
Nope.
That theme, it's excellent.
That reminds me of a quick story. I don't know if you know about this one concert. I think it's called Video Games Live. They've come to Baltimore once before, and they do orchestral remixes of various soundtracks. I'm not really much into classical music, pretty much at all. But if it's a video game mix, yeah, definitely on board for that stuff. So they had the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra playing all these different songs, including, I think, Mario or 2. And so later on, I had a marketer, sales rep kind of person contact me representing the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra. And they were like, yeah, we wanted to know, so what other kinds of classical music do you like? And I was like, techno and rock. And they're like, oh. And I was like, yeah, sorry, I only went to the one because it was video game music.
Video games come back or the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and like
that's right. Then you got something you could sell me. And they're like, have a nice day. And I was like, you too.
How many times do you think that representative had that exact same conversation? Calling people like that. I mean, like that had to happen. So
sure. I'm sure they probably did not have a good day that day. It must have been a Monday for them. What is all these people like? They want to listen to like Legend of Zelda. They want to listen to like Super Metroid, and they want to listen to like Halo. And I just don't understand where are all the Bach people and the Mozart people?
Yeah, though I will say that if they were worth, like if they were looking to make money and they got a whole bunch of calls of them saying, "Oh, I just went for the video game music." All right, I guess we're going to do another video game concert.
Oh,
Yeah.
like after the first Video Games Live, then they started to really hit like specific games, like Video Games Live. After they've done an entire Mario one where it was just Mario, they've done an entire Zelda one, they've done an entire Halo one. Like after that first Video Games Live being so successful, they've done a lot more tours specifically on specific games.
Nice.
I hope they bring it back. I'm sure they're not doing it right now because of the crisis, but yeah, man, it was such a great experience. I would definitely go see them again. What other Mario music has been really impactful? Mario 64 was definitely a big one.
I don't know about impactful, but it's always really cool to see what they do with it for different games and things like that. So, like to bring back Mario Sunshine, like you always have these layers. So, like Mario Sunshine, you've got the original track, okay? Then they add this little island theme onto it, okay? Then any game that's got Yoshi in it, for every track in that game, they record a separate track that will play over that track and intertwine with it if you have Yoshi at the time.
Yeah.
Or for some of the later games, if you have a particular power up. So some of the earlier games, like if you got a power up, it would just change the music. They're just like, nope, we're on this song now. And some of the games like Odyssey, if you get a power up, they add a new layer to the song that's already playing in order to change it. So they really know what they're doing when it comes to sound design. Yeah,
definitely. Though I do definitely will always be a major fan of Metal Mario. And I played that all the time when I was a teenager. How about you, Baron? What Mario music speaks to you?
I will tell you, my favorite Mario song, even though it's my least favorite Mario game.
Okay.
My favorite Mario one that'll always stick with me is Super Mario Brothers 1, 2.
1, okay. 2. That's 1 and 2?
1-2.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Yeah.
I gotta say it. What are Mario's overalls made out of?
Oh gosh.
I don't know. What are Mario's overalls made out of?
Denim.
Wow. Wow. Bad jokes roll.
That one almost made it into the intro. Just
I'm glad I could give you the opportunity to use that as part of this podcast. Wow.
Yeah, that's always going to be my favorite. I'll just catch myself just singing it sometimes. I mean, singing it, humming it or whatever. But then, I'll hit the waterboard too. The do 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 do.
Oh yeah.
And yeah,
you're a Mario fan when you go and hit the pool and that's the music playing in your head and you're like swimming like the way Mario does. What the lifeguard's looking at you like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, I'm swimming. Why are we away from the cheap? Don't bother me.
Yeah, the music it hit really good for as very little bit of information they could mash into those songs.
Yeah.
Those 8-bit cartridges couldn't hold a whole lot, but they really did everything they could with it.
Oh yeah, they did.
And then some.
Yeah, they did. And that's and just going to Nintendo in general, I will give them huge credit for that's just what they've done. They got a console and they must have been like, okay, this is how many bits you got to work with, and they're like, okay, time to fist this up in there. It's like, way to go, guys, you did great.
And they come out with such innovative work too. I mean, the Power Glove, going back to that for a moment, the Zapper, having the trackpad for track meets, they just created such crazy games that were just so much ahead of its time. Mad props to Nintendo for just having the chutzpah to just experiment in an industry that still is scared to death of doing any kind of innovation and doing any kind of experimentation.
Right.
Nintendo just goes like, instead of going, will this work? They just go, let's just try it. And they just throw it out there. And if it doesn't work, they just don't go back to it. You know what I mean? But like,
right.
They've got no fear when it comes to like just throwing stuff out there and just being like, maybe let's throw it at the wall and see if it sticks.
Mm-hmm. Because definitely because the shit that does stick, oh man.
Oh yeah.
Boy, does it stick.
They give it 110% too. It's not like, we'll try this one little idea, put just a little bit of time and investment into it so we can try it out. And they give it 110%, and they come up with some real home runs as a result.
And the other cool thing I like about Nintendo is like they still, okay, so people give Nintendo a lot of crap because they say they don't release enough product. That like when something comes out that they know people are going to want, that they never stock the shelves enough, and then it ends up becoming a scalper product because people will buy up a bunch of them and then resell them at a higher price online. But what Nintendo is actually doing is they're not meeting their supply and demand cross section. So like they know what the demand is going to be. So they could sell it at this higher price, and they would sell through that entire stock at their higher price. But they don't. They still sell at the lower price because they want the barrier for entry to be lower. They want a kid with their allowance to be able to afford to buy that new Amiibo if they come across the Amiibo. So they sell it at a lower price. And that's awesome because they would sell just as much product if they sold it at twice the price. But like, they almost don't have that profit in mind. I mean, they must at some point. I mean, they're a company, in this day and age. You know what I mean? They have to make a bottom line. They have to have some sort of profit. But like, they're different when like Nintendo is struggling as a company and their CEO takes a price cut of 50% in order for none of their workers to have to take a price cut. You know what I mean? While companies like Wonder Bread are going out of business and like they're just laying off everybody while their CEO takes a raise. You know what I mean? A company like Nintendo, the CEO takes a 50% salary cut and makes sure all this and doesn't fire anybody. That's saying something.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It speaks a lot to the Japanese culture in general. Their mindset of being a part of a group and part of
community conscious.
Right. Very, very community conscious as a result. And there's a lot of lessons that we can learn from our American companies and how the Japanese conduct themselves in their business.
Absolutely. Well, frankly, especially speaking of the crisis, it definitely more than just business, I would like to think.
Mm-hmm. But just kind of getting back to Mario a little bit. I mean, like I was saying before, like I always call Mario Kart the great uniter, but like I think Mario in general has been something that's bringing families together for as long as it's been out. Like I remember some of my favorite memories as a child was playing Mario with my mom. She played Mario before I did, the original Super Mario Brothers. And then like when a level was too hard for me, she'd help me beat the level or show me how to do it until I got like a little bit older. And then she was like, nope, no matter how many times you die, you're going to beat that level. And that's how I became the gamer I am today, because she was like, no, I'm not going to do it for you. You have to learn how to do this.
So, as a parent now, I'm at that point with my daughter, where it's just like, you know what, you've been doing great. I think it's time for you to maybe learn how to fall off a ledge every once in a while and go back and do it yourself.
Yep. I'm doing the same thing with my daughters too, where they run into a difficulty. Sometimes they'll come on and be like, Dad, I can't get through this part. Get through this part for me. Sometimes I'll do it for them. Other times I'll be like, nope, you got to get good, because if I help you with this one, You do, because you just got to fail a couple of times until you either get the skills or you figure out how to get around the boss of the problem. Because if I do it for you now, you're not going to be able to do it for the next boss that comes right after that. So I'm not going to play the whole game for you. So sometimes you got to let them fall down a little bit.
And to this day, my mom is not a gamer by any means. But like if my mom is visiting and I pull out a Mario game, she'll still ask me, is this one multiplayer? Can you play as 2-player on this one? And she'll still play with me because she likes Mario. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't do a whole lot, but she likes Mario.
Yeah, my mom's the same way too. Played a lot of Mario with her too, as my player 2 or me being player 2 and Mario. And yeah, we'll still play Mario Party. We'll still play Mario Kart. Those are definitely games she still buys to this day. She has her own Switch in her house, so she can play not just with her son, but also with her grandkids too. They'll jump on the Switch and they'll play together. So it's real special.
Cool. Yeah, and Mario has that ability. I mean, like, just as a game and a franchise in general. I mean, that's why he's been thrown at so many different genres, because he's so recognizable, and everybody, you know, sees Mario and is immediately not threatened by that game. Because technology and video games, especially to older generations, can just look intimidating in general. But like, even those who are intimidated by video games, like, a lot of times they see, you know, Mario's face on it and they're like, oh, this can't be that bad. I know Mario.
Yep. It definitely has the strong brand recognition, which Nintendo has been very, very, very careful about, and understandable why we probably haven't seen another Mario movie for quite some time.
They learned their lesson. They were like,
yeah,
okay,
they did. They're starting to open up some more now. They're starting to experiment with a little bit more now. So I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see that they're. I understand the cautious optimism, but I'm glad to see that they're trying to branch out.
Yeah, I remember hearing about the extensive negotiating they were in with Wreck-It Ralph. And not only just with Disney, but they were like side negotiating like with Sega and Sonic and stuff, because, you know, they didn't want their character to be smaller than him or something like that. But
yeah,
they wanted him to be, it's weird. It's very weird.
Well, Nintendo's been in talks with Sega about that kind of thing for a long time anyway, because of the Mario and Sonic at Olympic Games series. And like, they were in talks about how, you know, like how the characters should match up, and like, you know, how one shouldn't overshadow the other. And that's a dance they've been playing a long time with Sega.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was so much balance that they had to strike between the two characters in that one game. Because you could technically play as any character for any game. That's really interesting.
It's just one of those things where, because of the rivalry they've had for so long, I mean, like, let's be honest, Sonic was invented to compete with Mario.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was their slogan, wasn't it? Not the marketing slogan, but
what Nintendo don't. And
yeah,
that was the marketing slogan. Yes.
Yeah. I remember that.
And like, you know, they advertises their blast processing with Sonic the Hedgehog, because our system is so much faster than Nintendo's system that, you know, we can handle this super speed character while Nintendo can't. And, you know,
they marketed themselves as a more edgy kind of 90s, and it was during the 90s. Well, no, when did Sonic first come out? Was that late 80s or was that the 90s? That was the 90s. Okay, so yeah, it was definitely very much of the time. So very playing off of what Mario isn't with his speed, focusing on those particular aspects and the edginess of it.
Yeah, so when it came down to Nintendo allowing a character that's been basically a rival that tried to take them out of business for a really long time, Nintendo was very careful about how it was handled. But at the same time, Sega just wasn't going to let them downplay the character either. So like, it was like I said, it was like a dance. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they had to keep it right where it needed to be, and both parties had to agree to everything. You know. But that's what happens when you have a character that iconic, and especially when you're playing off two characters that iconic. You know what I mean? Like I said, we just passed the 30th anniversary for Mario. You know what I mean? People have a very concrete idea of what Mario is, and like, if you try to go outside of that idea too much, then, you know what I mean, you'll get the torches and pitchforks after you. You know. Now Sonic's been a little bit more fast and loose with Sega, but, you know, if Nintendo's going to let Sonic be in a Nintendo game, you know what I mean, they're going to make sure everything is just right.
I'm trying to think, besides Mario and Sonic Olympics, is there any game that the two of them have ever been in together? Because I don't think there is. Does
Smash Brothers?
Oh yeah, Smash, of course. That might be kind of a really.
I can't count that.
Yeah, it is hard because everybody's in Smash. It feels like these days.
I mean, it was a big deal when Sonic did first get into Smash Brothers, though, because at the time there weren't non-Nintendo characters in Smash Brothers.
It was very much a close garden.
Mm-hmm. And then Sonic and Snake came into Smash Brothers in the same game, and that was set a whole new precedent. Now we've seen all kinds of characters that aren't Nintendo characters.
But I love that. I'm so glad they broke that, because it opens up such a wide plethora of just really interesting characters that they've been able to bring in, like Banjo-Kazooie, like out of nowhere, showing up in Smash. That was so cool. And Persona 5. What?
And most recently, Steve from Minecraft.
Yeah, Steve from Minecraft. That's pretty blowing my mind too, especially since he's a Microsoft IP right now. That's so cool.
But yeah, Nintendo's always gonna protect Mario and any of the games he's in. If like, especially if you're gonna have a direct competitive character, they're always gonna make sure that Mario doesn't get overshadowed on his home turf. You know what I mean?
Yep. I thought that might be kind of an interesting game idea. If you had a more fully fleshed game of Mario and Sonic, I don't know what would be more interesting, putting Sonic in Mario's world or putting Mario in Sonic's world.
So a long time ago, and this doesn't really have a whole lot to do with Mario, but there were two games that came out, and it was Crash Purple and Spyro Orange.
Okay.
And Crash Purple was Crash Bandicoot in Spyro the Dragon's world.
Okay. Well, I mean, that makes sense. That's still part of...
And Spyro Orange, and Spyro Orange was Spyro in Crash Bandicoot's world.
That's pretty cool.
So they could totally do a double release like that and do, like,
I see where you're going with it.
Sonic in Mario's world and Mario in Sonic's world. And they wouldn't even have to do it as two separate games, because Sega's already kind of played with this idea a little bit in Sonic Generations.
Mm-hmm.
So you had classic Sonic and new Sonic, and they would do, different things in like each other's worlds and things like that. You could easily take what they've already done with Sonic Generations and throw Mario in there too.
Yeah, take that concept and run with it. For sure. I was thinking when you split it as like a two different kind of worlds idea, or two different games, I think the idea of two different games probably would work pretty well, especially since Nintendo is infamous for creating game series that come in two different releases. Pokemon.
Bless you.
Thank you. It's cold, man.
I know, right?
So, I mean, you could have like different collectibles too, like maybe different like toads you could collect, or chows you could collect, or maybe amiibos between the two.
To be fair, Nintendo has published a lot of games like that, but they've never developed one.
That is true. I will give you that.
They published the Pokemon games, which were made by Game Freak, and there was even the Zelda game, Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that one.
But I think it was Konami or Capcom that actually developed those games.
I don't remember, but now I'm making me want to look it up.
I want to say it's Konami.
I almost thought it can't be Rare. That doesn't feel like a Rare kind of game. But I have played those two Zelda games too, and I love them. Oh, that would be so great if they re-released those on the Switch too. But yeah, that would be kind of cool.
It was Capcom. Capcom was the developer on that one, and then Nintendo published it.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, having Mario do.
But they could let Sega develop it.
Yeah.
Publish it.
Yeah, that would make sense. Can you imagine Mario in like Casino Night, or actually Casino Night would be actually probably really cool. Because he could like hit different blocks, and it would
especially if they had some of his power-ups and stuff like that. You throw Metal Mario down in Casino Night.
Yeah, that would be pretty tight. Let's see, what would be interesting for Sonic? Generally, when I think of Sonic or I think of Mario, I think of you always have the staple worlds. You've got your green lands, you've got your ice, you've got your water world, you've got your fire world, you've got your the rest tends to be like a hodgepodge. Like you've got one in a forest.
I immediately think of the special levels they had in games like Sunshine and Galaxy and Odyssey, where it almost became like a speed running type level. Like in Sunshine, you had the levels where you were chasing down
Shadow Mario. Yeah.
Shadow Mario, and like in Galaxy, you had like the Galaxy Mario, whatever they called him.
I think it was still kind of a Shadow Mario-esque idea, but yeah.
But like there was always those levels where like, you have, it's basically just get from point A to point B. And like if you did it right, you could do it in a very speed runny way where you just bounce off of this and jump off of this. And like I think Sonic could fit into that kind of thing real well.
Like I like a Galaxy kind of stage for Sonic. That actually would be pretty trippy.
And like there's your trailer right there, right? So Mario is standing there. All of a sudden, Shadow Mario jumps down out of nowhere, and like Mario looks like, okay, here we go again. And then like there's an arm on his shoulder, like don't worry, buddy, I got this one. And then Sonic takes off after Shadow Mario.
Oh, I'd lose my mind.
There's your trailer for that game right there. You're welcome, Nintendo.
That's all they'd have to show too.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they have to show. People would already be pre-ordering.
Absolutely. What would be the pre-order gift, I guess, for lack of a better term, for people that pre-order that game?
It'd be a set of lenticular lens cards.
Okay.
And when you turn it this way, it'd be Mario. When you turned it this way, it'd be Sonic doing different things.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was thinking like an art book, but you would have Mario on one side, and you have Sonic on another. So if
you like flip it over and like
exactly,
yep,
and they would meet in the middle. So one part is where Sonic is in Mario's world and shows like behind the scenes art and character concepts and things like that. And then Mario, it would have his rendition of it.
That would be so cool.
That would be so cool. And then imagine the Amiibos with that too.
Oh man, the Amiibos. I think we could probably get our first Shadow Mario Amiibo out of that one.
Oh, that would be so tight.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely buy that. You could see like a bunch of characters that you haven't seen Amiibos yet. So Bowser Jr., Tails. We don't have a Tails Amiibo yet.
Bowser Jr. from Smash Brothers, though. It'd be a different Bowser Jr. Don't get me wrong. Like
I'm talking about with like the paintbrush and the mask. Yeah.
Instead of the clown car.
Right. And then on the Sonic side, you could have Sonic, or you could have Tails. You could have Knuckles. That would be really cool. Mm-hmm. Maybe a Chow one might be kind of cool. Like the three different kinds of Chows put together as an Amiibo. That would be really cute. Yeah, Metal Sonic. Yeah, that would be good. Which one would you go with? Would you go classic, or would you go with something like Sonic 2's Metal Sonic? Or would you go from something like Sonic Heroes, like when he's like the super Metal Sonic or whatever?
Oh, who knows, man? That's a different podcast altogether right there. We're creating Mario games here, and
we could probably do a whole show on just crossovers.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a good. I'm gonna file that one away. The crossover. That's when we get another friend who does podcasts, and that'll be our crossover episode, and we'll just talk about crossovers.
Nice. And every so often throughout to be like, you know what my favorite crossover is though? This one. We have to say it like 15 times.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. What is this? A crossover episode?
Oh no! I'll send an email to the Neebs guys.
Yeah, I'm sure they can't wait to get on an episode of Caster's Guild. We're their favorites.
You know what? You go ahead and you can go ahead and email the Grumps. I'll email the Neebs guys. You know,
And we'll see who comes back first.
Whichever one hits back first, we'll accept.
Yeah. We'll let him know that too. Be like, just to let you know, we also email.
You can send them Twitter messages.
Oh my God! Yes.
CC them.
It could be like this massive campaign with, like, you know how Aaron always is trying to do with Wendy's and Wendy's commercials. It could be like that with you guys trying to get Game Grumps.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, Rick.
I mean, what's it hurt to send an email?
Nothing. Cease and desist at most.
Yeah.
All right. Before we go down an entire another Mario rabbit hole that we haven't thought of yet.
Because it's there, let's face it.
Baron, do you want to go ahead and throw a bow on this thing?
I kind of don't, because if I do, it's going to open up that rabbit hole. 30 years. That's crazy. It honestly feels like longer, but it also feels like just yesterday. 30 years of Mario. And Mario really flavoring an entire generation of gamers. And I see no end in sight of him influencing future gamers. And I'm here for it. I mean, I may not have played a Mario game in the last few years, but his influence is always going to be there. His influence is going to be there, and the people that I care about. I mean, you guys have definitely been shaped by Mario. It's amazing. Just honestly, just sitting back and just looking at it is amazing, and it's been great to talk about. And I'm sure at some point we are going to talk about this very subject again, and we're going to talk, and it's going to be all new stuff. I guarantee it.
Yeah, Mario has definitely been a driving force in our lives and in our hearts. I know we didn't really bring him up except in the intro, but I just want to throw a special thanks to Mr. Charles Martinet for bringing life to the voice of Mario, Luigi, and all of those characters, because that's just super important to me. TJ, if people liked what they heard from today, where can they find you on the internet?
Well, right now, I'm focusing on a charity stream. You guys have probably heard the Casters Guild talk about their own charity streams as well for Extra Life. I'm also doing an Extra Life charity stream. So you can find me at extralife.tjkirchner, TJKIRCHNER.com. That will link you to my charity page, where I am doing a charity for raising money for Johns Hopkins Children's Hospital. And I'll be participating on game day, Saturday, November 7th, I think is what it was, starting at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, because the sooner I start, the sooner I can be done. Just streaming from my YouTube channel, which is also linked in that Extra Life page. So if you go to the Extra Life page, you'll be able to find my YouTube channel. You'll be able to find some of the streams that I've done featuring myself playing many different kinds of games, such as Among Us, Jackbox. I've done other, there's links to other videos that I've done too on my channel for previous Extra Life charities that I've done as well, playing games like Five Nights at Freddy's and playing all sorts of different kinds of horror games. That's where they can find me.
Nice.
And Baron, you've been messing around with YouTube some. Where can they find you on YouTube?
Again, I don't have a URL yet. I'm not important enough to have a URL, but you can definitely find me on the Dad from a Distance channel on YouTube. You can search for Dad from a Distance. You can search for Baron Kane. You'll find me pretty easily. And I'm just doing what I can to be there for my daughter, even if I can't be there for my daughter. So feel free to come in and support me, because your support helps me support her. So I would really appreciate it.
And for more Casters Guild goodness, you can find us on Spotify and Anchor FM. Please email us at castersguild@gmail.com if you have any questions or ideas. If you got a question, it'll probably be read on the podcast and we'll answer it right there. You can also find us on the Casters Guild Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Casters Guild. At least bi-weekly streaming D&D with our friends, and once again on Extra Life Game Day, November 7th, trying to raise money for the Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt. Find all these links and more in the description down below. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. Bye!
Bye, 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 bye.
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 Here we go!
Yahoo!